that maybe I thought people didn't want peace. He said to me, I remember very clearly, he said, people want peace.
We're all the same, you know, the people here, the people in Manila, the people in London, the people...
What's the term? Being human. So let's be human, not animals.
Here's one of your messengers of peace. So please give the Secretary a round of applause. What kind of good service.
Okay, peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. Yes, my name is Ringo.
Welcome to part 2 of the program celebrating Unity Foundation's 50th anniversary, promoting peace, cooperation, and unity, and Positive Spins, 28 years of positive news and only positive news. This program will present an overview of Unity Foundation's history and accomplishments with special focus on the period from 2017 to present day. Unity Foundation is a nonprofit organization with a 40-year history, actually 41 years, with the purpose of promoting peace, cooperation, and unity throughout the world. We were founded in San Francisco, and in our early days we created unity festivals in Golden Gate Park and other parks in San Francisco, bringing together spiritual, political, environmental organizations for the purpose of expressing unity. We had major performers like the Jefferson Starship, Grateful Dead, and Santana perform at these events. 20 years ago, we created the Positive Spin television show to present positive, innovative, and solution-oriented news from around the world. We created the program to counteract all the sensationalism and negativity in the news, which we still see today. Then, in the last 8 years, we produced the Peace Day Global broadcast, celebrating the UN International Day of Peace. The program streams live from the Peace Channel and also the UN website and numerous websites and Facebook pages, reaching people worldwide with the message of peace and environmental sustainability. Yes, actually I was in a couple of bands. I was brought up in the 1960s living in San Francisco. So music was everywhere, and music is that universal language. So it really captured my soul. And I was into all the bands of that time, the San Francisco bands, but most specifically, I was a big fan of the Jefferson Airplane. In 1975, the airplane had morphed into the Jefferson Starship. And they had this song, Ride the Tiger, which I really loved. And I was at this concert, this mega concert that Bill Graham, the biggest producer in the world, was putting on to save education in San Francisco. And I heard the song, perhaps like for the first time. In the middle of the song, there's a lyric, "In the summer of 75, the whole world will again come alive." For some reason, being so inspired by my favorite band and their lyrics, and realizing that the summer was just a few months away, I turned to my producing partner at the time, Richard, and said, "You know what, Richard? We're going to do that." So the next day, Richard and a few of our friends started calling every political, spiritual, environmental, cultural group in the Bay Area and telling them that we felt that it was time for everybody to unite. Well, some of them hung up on us. Some of them said, "Who are you? What have you done before?" But we kept on. And a few months later, 45 organizations, spiritual, political, environmental, organizations that would never consider being in the same room with each other, all gathered together in Lindley Meadow in Golden Gate Park for the first San Francisco Unity Festival. And what was so amazing was not only the festival, but that my favorite band, the Jefferson Starship, agreed to perform. They had been the inspiration, and now they were going to perform at the event. And 2 weeks before, their song Miracles hit #1 on the charts. The band was the biggest band in the world at that time when they were playing our event. And then at the last minute, they decided to bring the Grateful Dead with them. And 50,000 people showed up to our very first event, our first Unity Festival. I remember we had a friend who was a lawyer backstage, and he said, "Bill, you can't just do this as a one-off event. You need to solidify this. You need to create a foundation." And Unity Foundation was born. You know, I've always believed that the power of intention has guided my life, as evidenced by the first Unity Festival, of course. So in 2009, I had this vision, this dream. What if the media of the world could come together for just one day and focus on peace? It was a crazy idea, but I felt it so strongly that I knew I had to move forward. The best way to do that, of course, would be on the internet, and I knew very little about the internet. I knew how to send emails, I knew how to search for websites, but that was basically it. So I called my producing partner at the time, Lorian, and I said, "Lorian, I have this idea about a Peace Day global broadcast." She loved the idea. And I thought, well, now what we need to do is we need to ask those people who are at the forefront of celebrating the International Day of Peace what they think about it. So I called two central people to the whole movement who I knew, Dr. Robert Mueller and Avon Madison. And I left a message on the phone. Avon called me back and said, "Robert and I have been waiting for this phone call for 25 years. Since the birth of the International Day of Peace, we've been talking about such a thing." Of course, this was before the internet. But they hoped one day they would get the phone call from someone saying that they wanted to do this. So they gave us their full support. We didn't know what to do next because we knew so little about the internet. But like magic, people started showing up, internet professionals that helped us to organize the whole thing. And on September 21st, 2009, the first ever Peace Day global broadcast was launched. It was an amazing experience. The very next year, the UN began streaming the broadcast from their official website. And now it's on numerous websites and Facebook pages all over the world. And what was the purpose? To promote the vitally important work of the United Nations, its humanitarian agencies, and organizations working for peace, the environment, human rights, social and economic justice around the world, with a special focus on the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which have been signed on to by all the countries of the United Nations.
Poverty, growing inequality exists in all of our nations. And all of our nations have work to do, and that includes here in the United States. And that's why today I am committing the United States to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals.
The Sustainable Development Goals build on the success of another 15-year plan. Created in the year 2000, the Millennium Development Goals sunset at the end of 2015.
Yes, I was deeply honored to receive the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from President Obama in 2017. You know, it's really amazing. I started out with a simple dream to promote peace and unity around the world. And now 40 years later, I'm getting recognized with this beautiful award. Not that awards mean that much, but I also recognize there are thousands of organizations around the world doing so much incredible work for peace, the environment, social justice, human rights, and unity, who are as deserving as I to receive this award.
Peace and love, these are the answers. Peace and love that we're looking for. Peace and love, sing it together. Peace and love all over the world. Peace and love, these are the answers. Peace and love that we're looking for. Peace, peace, living inside us. Peace, peace, will you open the door? you bother looking in the world? Don't you know there's no peace there? Don't you bother looking in your mind? Fantasies that lead you nowhere. Peace and love, these are the answers. Peace and love that we're looking for. Love, love, it's all that we live for. Love, love, the essence of all. Peace and love, these are the answers. Peace and love that we're looking for. Peace and love, sing it for Ringo. Peace and love all over the world. Peace, love, love and peace. Peace and love, love and peace. Peace and love, love and peace. Peace and love, love and peace.
Welcome to part 2 of the program celebrating Unity Foundation's 50th anniversary of promoting peace, cooperation, and unity throughout the world, and Positive Spin's 28 years of positive news and only positive news. Positive Spin. The Foundation's award-winning Positive Spin television program continued to promote positive, innovative, and solution-oriented news from around the world, with special presentations on the United Nations, the Goldman Environmental Prize, and humanitarian organizations worldwide. Unity Foundation's most recent programs from 2017 to present day include continuing to produce the annual Peace Day Global broadcast and co-producing 4 additional annual broadcasts with the Peace Channel for Women's Day, Earth Day, Refugee Day, and Human Rights Day, producing special broadcasts for the United Nations 70th and 75th anniversaries, and creating an exhibit on the founding of the United Nations for the Museum of the City of San Francisco. During the pandemic, the Foundation expanded its work to producing and co-producing a series of films. Stonewall the Movement. In addition, the Foundation produced and directed 2 short films, the award-winning Luminosity, The Triumph of Light Over Darkness. In another dimension, there's a magic forest of light where spirit dwellers have lived in peace and harmony with nature for centuries. That's about to change, as an evil sorcerer appears at the gates to the forest, determined to steal the light from the hearts of the spirit children, become the master of light and king of the magic forest. In the anti-nuclear film, The Garden. As well as Voices for Peace.
One world, one love.
My take on peace. I remember once talking to my father about whether people wanted peace, because it seemed like there was so much war and so much stress in the world.
We're all here on the planet together, and too often we don't allow people,
We regard peace as a wuss word. We go running from it.
We yawn when we hear it. Yeah, 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 peace.
Captain America stands for liberty and peace and justice for all.
So I invite you to join the peace team, where peace is the only gold, and where peace is the only game in town. Pass it on.
Got the feeling, got the feeling, got the feeling, the feeling of love. Got the feeling, we've all got the feeling of love.
During this time, Unity Foundation launched Unity Music, releasing a series of 6 songs promoting peace, love, unity, and sustainability. In 2021, Unity Foundation's president was honored to serve as the chair for the very first annual Global Peace Education Day Conference, which featured presentations from officials from the United Nations and UNESCO and prominent peace educators from all around the world.
Welcome, everyone. We are just so honored and delighted to see you here for the 40th anniversary.
In 2024, Unity Foundation was honored to serve as a co-producer of the Peace Day 40th Anniversary celebration in San Francisco, which was live-streamed around the globe.
Yes.
I am so excited to be here at International Peace Day. We're having a fantastic celebration with wonderful performers and artists and singers and dancers and poets and comedians.
Finally, Unity Foundation published the #1 best-selling book, You Can Escape the Box and Live a Life of Miracles. The book presents how the use of the power of intention has resulted in Unity Foundation's 50 years of amazing accomplishments.
And misinformation in the news?
Try something new. Watch Positive Spin on Free Speech TV. Positive Spin presents positive, innovative, and solution-oriented news from around the world, giving focus to the individuals and organizations working to create a better world, the world's changemakers. Let's all come together and make some
Positive news.
Positive news.
Positive news.
Throughout Unity Foundation's history, the organization has produced special events and media campaigns promoting the work of the United Nations and its humanitarian organizations. This year, the UN will celebrate the 80th anniversary of its founding in San Francisco. To celebrate this important occasion, we present a rebroadcast of Unity Foundation's celebration of the UN's 55th anniversary in San Francisco.
and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you a strong supporter of peace and justice in the city of San Francisco, His Honor, His Excellency, the Mayor, Willie Brown.
Ms. Peterson, thank you very much for that kind introduction, and thank you for all the warm reception. My role is a very simple one, and that is to have each one of you take the document which have been previously referred to and find the place and the space in that document in which the preamble is there, and then to have us collectively together read the preamble. After all, it was signed here in San Francisco at the Hearst Theater, and it was representatives of nations from all over the globe, and the contents of that preamble will be clearly evident as to how committed it is to peace. And to have us in San Francisco to be able to renew this privilege and this pledge, I think represents something very special to people all over the world. Of those of us assembled herein, in the city of San Francisco, who have exhibited their full powers, found to be in good and due form, have agreed to the present Charter of the United Nations and do hereby establish an international organization to be known as the United Nations. The reading of this preamble represents the announcement made by those who signed this charter and by those of you who participated in the reading of this preamble. Thank you. I hereby proclaim this United Nations Charter Day in the city and county of San Francisco.
That even here in the Bay Area, we have work being done at Livermore Labs, the national ignition facility, to create an even new weapons, newly designed weapons, newly more powerful weapons that could be used. We could go a long ways towards achieving peace in the world by redefining what we mean about national security. So I'm very happy to join with you here today to celebrate where we have come, but to also join with you in dedicating where we've got to go, to move closer towards peace and the elimination of nuclear weapons. Thank you.
But we hope also that you'll learn to love one another, to care for one another, and to keep this spirit of the United Nations growing strong around the planet.
Thank you, Bill McCarthy, for what you do and for what Unity Foundation does in the Mission District, throughout San Francisco, and in the lives of each of us who is here today. The United Nations Association of the United States and of Northern California more particularly, and especially the UNA chapter of San Francisco, is grateful for all the participation here, all the people here today who share a common concern about the state of the world. We know that 55 years ago, the nations of the world came here, 50 of them at that time, to come to an agreement on the principles that they thought that would make this a better place to live throughout the world. Now there's something that all of us can do today. We can meet with the organizations, we can meet with our neighbors, we can tell people about the principles that those leaders founded here 55 years ago. The principle of equality of rights, of a right to a job, a right to a place to live, a right to a peaceful relationship with your neighbor, and education for your children. So I would just make a plea that each of us look to see how we can empower ourselves and those close to us so that we don't look to just our national leaders or our world leaders, but that we realize each of us are leaders and we can do something where we're at. So once again, I would like to thank you for being here.
Unity Foundation is forever grateful to the Foundation's Board of Directors' selfless dedication to furthering the organization's mission of promoting peace, cooperation, and unity throughout the world for the past 25 years. For Positive Spin, Dirk Dirksen, Director, Damon Malloy, Videographer and Editor of Positive Spin from 1997 to 2011. LD Coronado, Videographer and Editor of Positive Spin to the present day. Years of promoting peace, cooperation, and unity throughout the world. And 28 years of nothing but positive news from around the world on Unity Foundation's Positive Spin television program. Thank you for watching Positive Spin. This show is made possible through the generosity of the Patty and Jack Wright Foundation and the Prem Rawat Foundation. Watch us on Free Speech TV, subscribe to our previous episodes on YouTube, follow us on Facebook and our other online platforms. I'm Bill McCarthy. Stay safe and healthy, and remember, everyone can create their own positive news.
We're hugging and we're peace and loving. We're not being violent.
Share peace and love.
And
I think at the end of the day, as the Bible teaches us, we're many parts but one body.
We are in this together, and we will get through this together.
All things are possible. Shared problems, shared solutions.
Positive news.